we're from LA, so I always feel like Vallejo is sort of the equivalent of Compton, where it's like a small city, but it has produced like a disproportionate amount of legends. So I guess what's in the soil in Vallejo that has produced so many great artists?
It ain't the soil, it's the water. Something's in the water. I'm on the way.
Yeah, right.
Man, it's really being on an island within such a prominent region. Like Vallejo is in the Bay Area, and we added so much sauce to like the culture of the Bay Area, but we're also isolated on our own island. So we have to develop our own identity. You know, we're not Oakland, we're not San Francisco, we're not Berkeley, we're not the major, you know, if you're not from here, those are the places you know, and we're none of those. So we had to develop our own identity, and that just, you know, we created some legends that just got their own sauce.
Yeah. What were you like as a child?
Black. Same. The same. I'm the same version of me now. A lot more bolder and braver, you know, because I've grown into a version of myself that I didn't get to always be as a child. But this version you see, like the fun and the smile, that it's always really been me.
Yeah. So you grew up like listening to like KMEL and like
Hell yeah, 94.9, KMEL, Chewy Gomez, Big Von, all them for certain. And it really shaped, you know. We grew up in an era where the radio was king.
It was everything.
You know, like on your way to school, your way home, going to your cousin's house, the radio was king. Like that's where you found your favorite songs and everything.
Trying to win
so
concert tickets.
Man, it was so much culture. It was community. You know, I was talking to someone recently, and I was telling them, like, you know, I think radio is still impactful. And he was like, man, radio is only impactful if you have an artist that can cultivate the community around radio that used to be there. Like KMEL used to mean something. If you see that truck as a Bay Area kid, it's like, oh, that's KMEL, you know? Mm-hmm. But now they took all of, like, the physicality and the community out of radio to where it's just like a playlist.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be. I work in radio. I work at Power 106, so I see like how the big artists will definitely do good, and it's like we sometimes can't support the smaller artists, and you know it sucks, and it's just like the lay of the land. Like we can't, as personalities, we can't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's also that people also forget to like. You got to try to also still build a relationship. It's like anything, you know what I'm saying, with that company, because, you know, there's like entry-level things you can do with radio. You can do like the high school games, the middle school basketball like games that we have like at Power, for example, and local artists, like younger artists will come out and do it. And then they start to grow, and then we continue to support them. You know, sometimes it's like, they don't play my song on the radio. It's like, we never met, you know, and it's like not that that's like mandatory. You know, because we never met Drake, but at the same time, it's like, let's grow together. You know what I'm saying?
And it's tough because that used to be the thing, right? When radio was out in the community, it was more easier to make that statement. But now, since it's become so faceless and more playlist-based, it's hard to make that argument because, like you said, everyone you're playing on Top 40, you've never met. But y'all play them multiple times. And then the person who might see you walking down the street and shout your name, who like, man, I love your stuff, get zero play.
But it has to be mutual as well. Like I see like artists have to reach out, you know, and we have to, you know, accept their hand, you know, too, because it's like we can't just be like, you're not big, fuck off. It's like, okay, you're not that big yet, come to the high school. You know what I'm saying? Turn up the kids one time and then let's see what we could do after that, you know?
I mean, I got in a lot of trouble because I once was like, fuck all of LA radio because they don't play local artists. I'm still bad from the... I'm still welcome.
My company's still mad at him. I was like, yo, we got to bring Jeff
I used to
up.
write for LA Weekly, which like, I mean, again, was a place that used to cultivate the community, then got bought and like destroyed by a bunch of out-of-town assholes. And I feel like this is my theory on radio is... I understand they test everything and they have all, but like, you know what else is a better test for it? Like YouTube, like numbers, like you can see these numbers of a local artist, right? So like someone like you should, I mean, I don't know if you are played every 10 minutes on KMEL or whatever, but like that would make sense. Or like in LA, like they don't play like a Draco or a Greedo unless you're signed to a major label and then all of a sudden then they usher you in.
And you know, that's what happens when corporate gets involved. and it now becomes a system and a marketing channel, it changes everything that once was to like it's business now, you know. And it's like if you're not profitable to the business, it's gonna be hard for me to leave what's profitable to my business to come support your non-profitable business, you know.
Yeah.
Like that's just what it became, and we gave a lot of that away. Like, you know, all of our independence we gave away. It's like, here, iHeart have everything.
Yeah, real shit.
No, it's cool how you're inspired. I mean, you can, like, I was gonna ask you, you know, the different like Bay Area artists, like what did you take from like a Too Short about the independent hustle?
Short and 40 really like are the architects of Out the Trunk.
Yeah.
Like that's what I knew growing up. Like that was almost, when you from the Bay, we take pride in that. Like I take pride in like I'm printing my own. You feel me? Right. I'm slinging my own CD. Yeah. Like that was a pride. It wasn't a knock to our game. Like, oh well, you just don't have the deal. Okay, that was like, no, I'm really out here getting them off. I could see the money. I know what it looked like. I could see the profit. It's within my own ability. So they really like showed us how to hustle independently and how to be proud of your independence. You know, 40, 20, 30 albums deep. I'm an independent artist who got 43 albums, and I'm proud of that because 40 set a blueprint that said, hey, I'll do a double disc. I'm going to do a triple disc. It's a front and a back to it. I'm putting out everything I like. You know, they set blueprints for us to follow to where we didn't have to feel ashamed for being different by not being in a system. When you in the Bay, there's no label. You know, it's not a major market where you can come to LA and you can see every label within a block, you know, in New York where you can see every label, you can see media outlet. We don't have none of that. So we really had to take pride in being independent. Otherwise you feel ashamed. Like, man, I'm not a major artist. You might never get on radio, you know?
Right.
I mean, obviously Master P like comes from, you know, learned everything in Richmond.
Yep.
You know. And I don't know, I feel like most of if you really think about like hip hop history, like most of the great like art was created by independent artists like that had major label but like a Cash Money is an independent label. Of course. Yeah. Yeah, they were on Priority first before they were on
and
Def
all of us were independent out of necessity. Nobody wanted us, you know, and that's what came about from it. Nobody wanted us, and we took that and we made gold out of shit.
Was there anything like an executive or like an A&R ever told you that kind of was really negative that you used as motivation or inspiration?
We were just talking about this. Several, you know, I don't think people were trying to be malicious. It's just some people are tasteless and some people are disconnected culturally, so they don't know. You know, a lot of my early meetings when I was telling people like, oh yeah, I don't have a deal. I'm distroing through here. I'm distroing. You know, I had someone tell me early like, well, you're not going to be able to succeed if you don't even have like major distribution. I got a long way through independent distribution, you know, like everyone knows who I am and I'm still not under major distribution. You know, people telling me, oh, well, you don't have a hit record. And it's like, but I'm selling thousands of tickets and they're singing the songs word for word. So what's a hit record? You know, like all of these things that they only knew what they knew, and they could only give me information based off the information they had. And, you know, they weren't trying to be negative, but it's like that's how it comes off when you're on the end of something, building something independently, and someone's like, no, you can't do it because of this.
Do you feel like that's because people can't necessarily put you in a box? Like, you can't be like, LaRussell's kind of like LaRussell's just LaRussell.
Right.
Right.
And that is kind of hard for some people to maybe market or see the vision or, you know, think like, oh, okay, we can do this. It's like you really have to work. You
know, I've had to tell labels with the hit thing, like, I'm not going to bring you a traditional hit record. I am a hit record.
Right.
Like, you have a LaRussell. That literally is the hit record. There's some artists who have a huge song and we're like, who the hell is this? You don't have no clue. You could walk right past them. There's no one in the culture who's going to walk right past me in the street. Everyone stops me, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't have the top 40 record. But I could walk down the street with a top 40 artist and I'm going to get stopped way more, you know, because culturally I am the hit. That's what it is. But they miss that because it ain't on the data. It ain't in the metrics. It ain't on the streaming, you know?
Right.
Yeah. I guess what people can't quantify is like the fact that, like you said, a major artist, you could hear their song and maybe coming from a car driving by, but no, like who's actually invested in them? Because they heard it for free on Spotify.
Passive.
They heard it for free on Apple Music or even the radio. But like people really invest in you.
Yeah.
The artist, the person, they'll support you. They've gone to your house. You know what I'm saying? Your house is a venue. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
I know their families.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
they
different.
really connect with me in a completely different. Even like walking into here, like y'all all feel like y'all know me. We're able to go right in the convo because it's like, man, this the homie. You feel me?
Yeah,
without
you gave me a very
just
tight hug.
exactly. You
Now let
feel me?
know.
Like that because that's what's real. Like that's the reality, and that's what you don't sometimes get. You do an interview with a larger artist who's having like their moment, and sometimes there's a human disconnect of like, man,
They'll
are
be on
we
their phone sometimes?
Right.
Like, what
While-
are you doing?
while
And
you're
like,
talking
then just
to
don't
them.
do it. Yeah.
that disconnect?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about like your earlier years, like growing up, like before, you know, the LaRussell we know right now. Tell us a little bit about you before, just growing up in Vallejo and all that. Some of your earlier past years and what it was like in your household.
I really, my parents have always been like the hosts of the family.
Right.
So we always had the cracking house, all the fights, all the
cousins
movies,
came
all the
over.
everybody was always at our house. We really were like the community, the neighbors, everybody. My pops would always cook. My pops always took care of everybody. So I really grew up immersed in community. I grew up on a block where all the kids was outside.
Right.
And his mama could tell me, hey,
Go
chill
home.
out. His mom, you know, like we really grew up communally that way. So that's been a lot of like, that's why my brand is the way it is. That's why I'm like this with them kids. Like all these kids, these my kids. You feel me? They not mine, but they are my kids. And that was like a great portion of my life. And then, you know, high school, I start rapping a bit more, doing more music and learning Pro Tools, all of that, shooting videos, like every role. I've done every role in music, which is why I was able to hire my team and find people to do it because I've been the videographer, I've been the photographer, I've designed the cover art, I shot the live sessions, I mixed the live sessions, I mastered the music, I recorded, I made the beats, I wrote the song, like I've set up the podcast, you know, I've done, I put the lights up, I've done every role. Still to this day, I do every role necessary. And it really helped me get here. You know, high school, I started battle rapping a bit, and that helped build my name and rapport. And then I had a child when I was 17, so I kind of like stepped away from music. I wasn't as fierce in it as I was prior, but I never really let it go. It's just always been in my heart. So I kind of kept building. And I ended up getting a decent job through a temp agency, and I was working there for about 5 years before I was like, I'm going after this now.
Right.
This was the aerospace
What age
job.
was this?
I got in that job. I was at UPS, then I went to FedEx, then I went to a winery, and then I got into the temp agency, like the aerospace job. I remember having my 21st birthday there,